What's the deal? What's the deal? We back again, PolitiKan the podcast, live every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we got a slew of shit we got to talk about, man, especially this Kanye shit, but we going to get to that later. I mean, I predicted this shit would happen. We was talking about this shit before the world was talking about this shit. So it's kind of old news for us, but we going to touch on that shit later. So let's get straight to this NBA news. We got to get to these Lakers, man, because they started off sorry as hell, like we expected. The worst shooting team damn near in history, man. This shit is ridiculous. So, bringing the cast, man, let's get to this first topic. What's the deal, fools?
What's happening? What's the deal?
What up? What up?
What's going on?
Shit. So, what y'all been on, man? How y'all been?
Not stressing over this 0-3 start.
Right. Laughing at this 0-3 start.
Okay, so let's get to this first topic.
Happy about the 6-0 start with the Eagles.
Man.
All right, so let's get to this Laker news, man. So the Lakers are 0-3. They play Denver tonight. It is looking real bad for them boys. LeBron James is the best shooter on the team. This is the first team that I've ever seen that LeBron James was the best shooter on the team. I don't know what's going on. They went for like 2 for 24 the other night. This shit is ridiculous. Like, I don't know what to do at this point to save this Lakers team. Like, they got no shooting. After last year, they got no shooting. They had Anthony Davis working out with Lethal Shooter. Everybody was like, oh, Lethal Shooter going to get him right. Oh. Well, Lethal Shooter just got a check because Anthony Davis hitting the side of the backboard, LeBron James shooting logo threes, airballing. It's getting pretty bad out there, man. So I'm going to go to my resident Laker, and I want to ask you, bro, Russ, what is it that the Lakers should do with Russ? Should they just send him home, or should they send him to the bench, man? Should Russ no longer be a starter? And if he's no longer a starter, do you think that he's even going to be a bigger distraction than what he's worth? What's your thoughts on this Russell Westbrook situation? When we already know it didn't work, so I don't know why they didn't get rid of them 2 first-round picks and get somebody else.
Well, I mean, to start off from the very beginning, we should have never gave up Kuzma and KCP to get him in that trade to begin with last year, or at the beginning of last year. So, I mean, looking at how we are and where we're constructed or how we're constructed, personally as a coach, I would leave him in the starting lineup, but I would bring Patrick Beverley off the bench. I would take his energy and match it with the second string, and I would leave the ball in Westbrook's hand, but I would force him and Anthony Davis into more high pick and roll situations. I feel like they're not utilizing their offensive strengths whatsoever. We know they're not shooters, but we do know that they're big down low. Pause. So it's like you kind of have to accept the fact that Anthony Davis is arguably one of the best big men in the game. I won't say top 5 just as a player, because I feel like there's others that have surpassed him since he's been injured. But he's still a very dominant, versatile big man that any real offensive-minded coach, because I like Darvin Ham, but he's a defensive-minded coach. So he's not offensively driven. Everyone's already said, from Kevin Garnett to Rasheed Wallace, everybody's like, man, AD just got to be that guy. That's not in his demeanor. If you kind of think about it, AD and LeBron are both alpha males, but they're not like ball dominant alpha males. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, give me the rock and move out the way, clear out and let me work. They work well within the offense, but there is no offense. I honestly feel like they need somebody like Melo, maybe not Danny Green, but his brother, what's his name, that could jump, Gerald Green. You could pick up any of these free agents that could shoot, and that will just help stretch the floor to let AD work more. They just refuse to get shooters, and they're refusing to make Westbrook and Patrick Beverley separate on the court. They start them both, pull Westbrook early, and then that's when they start to flow. Let Westbrook be in the game. Let him do his thing. But let Patrick Beverley come off the bench, since he's known to do that, and let him be a dog. Let him lead the defense on the second string.
I'll say this. When they traded for Westbrook from the Washington Wizards, shout out to the DMV, they traded for the wrong Wizard. They should have traded for Bradley Beal.
Thank you. You
need shooters around LeBron and AD, really. So why wouldn't you go get Bradley Beal? And you wanted a superstar talent, which he has the capabilities of being. He's been an all-star, multiple times. So I would say that, that's where the Lakers messed up as far as Westbrook, but he's on the team. So should they bench him? Should they send him to the bench? If you can't trade him, you might as well just ride the wave and just try to make it work at this point. Because, again, he's not going to change as far as, just all of a sudden becoming Steph Curry or even Seth Curry overnight. It's not going to happen. So I would say that you should keep him in the starting five. But if you can get this trade done, like specifically, I think, they always talk about Indiana possibly going after him. If you can get a trade done for Westbrook where you can bring in a reliable shooter, then you need to do it now, because the Lakers, LeBron's got maybe 2 more years. Like let's be realistic. Maybe 2 more years. AD constantly injured. He's not the future of LA. So you really need to start. I understand the Lakers, they want the picks and they want to keep their picks and all that, but you really have to start thinking about now. And where the Lakers are now. I mean, LeBron and AD are healthy right now. The coach, I forget his name, but he already said he's gonna, he's not gonna play them, more than 70 games, if I'm saying that correctly. He's going to basically load manage them, which in their positions he should. Somebody like Kawhi Leonard shouldn't, but that's another topic for another day. But with LeBron being basically 40 with AD with the multiple injuries throughout his career, you need to load manage those guys to potentially be prepared for the playoffs. But if you can't trade for Westbrook right now, just leave him in the starting five and then just ride the wave and see where this goes. That's what I say. But yes, they definitely traded for the wrong Wizard. It should have been Bradley Beal.
Well, they didn't trade for the wrong Wizard because Washington wasn't about to give up Bradley Beal. So the Lakers always act like
it's true.
Go get anybody. The Lakers can't just go get anybody. Washington was not going to give up Bradley Beal. They weren't dumb. You know what I'm saying? They would give up Westbrook because nobody wants Westbrook. Now let's get back to the Lakers. Lakers fans, I told y'all didn't want to listen. 4 years ago when we first signed LeBron James and I was hot, everybody was all excited. I said, first of all, LeBron is old as fuck. Second of all, look what happens to the teams when he get on. Remember when he was in Cleveland and at the trade deadline, they traded like 8 players? This is what LeBron James does. So LeBron is complaining about not having no shooters on the team, but he's the one that wanted Russell Westbrook. It's well documented that he and Anthony Davis got on that plane, and they're the ones that made Russell Westbrook come to the team. It's well documented that they had Buddy Hield. It was a done deal. Anthony Davis and LeBron James said, no, go get us Westbrook. They did that shit. They got rid of Kuzma, KCP. I don't understand how you have a championship team in 2020. You got all the pieces, and you don't bring that same team back and give it a chance to defend its championship. You start changing shit. You know why they did that? Because they know that bubble shit was bullshit. They won. I'm going to tell you why the bubble benefited the Lakers. Because of Anthony Davis. He hasn't been able to stay healthy since the bubble. Think about it. That's why we call it a bubble championship. So now let's be real. The Lakers are done winning championships with LeBron James as the best player. LeBron James is no longer capable of doing that. Can y'all see it? He's still getting his numbers, but it's not translating to wins. Remember back in the day when he was doing it? Oh, LeBron could carry any team to the finals. He could drag any team to the finals. He's getting those same numbers. So why can't he get out the first round? Because it's over. The Lakers cannot winning. I'm just being real. Winning, LeBron James is not leading you to a championship no more. That's over. Anthony Davis is soft and injured. That's over. And Russell Westbrook does not fit with that Laker team. They need to trade him and trade him ASAP because they're not going to make the playoffs. Mark my words. The Lakers are not making the playoffs. They're terrible. There's 7 or 8 teams that's way better than the Lakers. I'm just being real. Real.
You're so aggressive, y'all? Clipper fan.
What up, y'all? What you got on these Lakers squad?
Oh man, I came in. I don't know what's going on up in here. We're always talking about these two LA teams, I guess. Hey, y'all. You live in California, this is all you talk about. Okay. My boy M Rock said the Laker wave. The Laker wave. I'm gonna correct my boy. They don't even got a wave, bro. They don't got no wave. It's one of them flat currents, just
Man.
Really, y'all? You trying to tell us we flatlined already? Wow.
You guys are flat. You guys been flatlined since I discovered the purple and gold, in my opinion. But now, what's going on with the Lakers, ladies and gentlemen? It's two things, and my boy Ronnie, he talked about it. First thing is LeBron James. Let's talk about LeBron James right quick. Me being a LeBron James hater, let's talk about this right quick. Going back to my Chicago Bulls, my boy Derrick Rose, and everything of that nature, LeBron James has been doing the same thing to his whole career, and it has finally caught up to him. What has LeBron James been doing? LeBron James is not the person that's going to lead you to a championship. LeBron James had D-Wade, and he had an all-star, Chris Bosh. Don't say he didn't. Don't say Chris Bosh is not an all-star because he was killing in Toronto.
Yes, sir.
He got two.
So he had two.
I'm saying he got two titles out of that. You just said he doesn't lead them to a championship. He did get two titles out of that.
Sorry, I
blank out on.
I had a phone call. It was somebody saying that this is just trash. So he got two titles, right? He got them two titles, but them two titles he had to do it with D-Wade prime. He had to do it with a Chris Bosh prime. It wasn't LeBron James. LeBron James in his career, he has a total of 4, but out of his 4, he only won 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't count
the bubble.
The bubble.
Calling my job keep calling me.
I think that the bubble. You didn't have to travel. You stayed on Disneyland. You walked downstairs. You rode a golf cart to the gym.
Hold on.
Basketball with no stand. Hold
on. Forget all that.
He's still.
I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the play.
Kobe got 3 titles instead of 5.
When I mention that, I'm mentioning that because of the injuries. When you have to go from the West Coast to the East Coast with time differences and this and that, and you don't have that time for your body to recover.
Okay, so
proper rest.
LeBron James got 2.
That's what. So when Ronnie brought up Anthony Davis hasn't been able to stay healthy since the bubble, the only reason that he got to stay healthy in the bubble is because he didn't have to travel. He went less than a mile to his hotel room that he got golf carted to right after the game. You didn't have to change time zones. You didn't have to go from the East Coast to the West Coast to the Midwest to the Northeast. You didn't have to deal with any of that.
And let's not forget. He did not.
Everybody have that same playing field though.
Yeah. We're not even talking
about that. We're talking about injuries. Anthony Davis has not been able to stay healthy outside of the bubble situation. In the Pelicans, he couldn't stay healthy.
Nope.
In the Lakers, he only stayed healthy when he was in the bubble. And every other year, the only time Anthony Davis has been healthy is when he was in the bubble.
That's it. He's been unhealthy every season.
Let me get this right. You telling me you win a championship? Okay, let me put it this way. I'm going to ask the panel this little question. Golden State Warriors. Are the Golden State Warriors going to make the playoffs this year?
Yes.
A good, right? They're going to make the playoffs because they were the champions last year. We're like, oh, Golden State ain't going nowhere. You're telling me the Lakers went from winning the championship to not even making a play-in tournament.
Man.
A play-in tournament. You didn't make a play-in tournament.
Right.
I know. At least the Clippers had injuries. You telling me you can't make the play-in tournament with LeBron James and Westbrook?
Exactly.
They made it though, didn't they? Last year
They won 33 games, bro. They won 33 games last year.
They did not make the playoffs last year.
They made the play-in last year.
Right, they made the play-in. They just didn't even win again.
They won 33 games last year. You guys are tripping. They made the play-in the year before. Last year they won 33 games.
No, the first year they won 33 games and they didn't make the playoffs. It was the first time in NBA history that a champion went from winning the championship to not making.
Last year they won 33 games, dog. You tripping?
It was last year.
It was last year with Westbrook.
I know it was last year because y'all were making fun of my Chicago Bulls and we trash.
Y'all
and y'all ain't even going to make nothing, and y'all didn't even make the play-in.
33 games. That's terrible. That's horrible. 33 games.
Sir.
It's over with LeBron James. They're running with Andrew Dowlock and Chris Young and not complaining.
Ronnie, who's your favorite player, Ronnie? Who's your favorite player?
Kobe.
Okay, so Kobe has 3 titles then, right?
Kobe has 5 titles.
No, he has 3 because according to y'all, with LeBron and his help, right? He technically only has 1.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going.
Let me tell you the difference.
Let me give you the difference. Did Kobe have 2 All-Star?
Hold on. Let me tell you the difference. Hear me out on this. The difference is LeBron James is not a closer. He always needs a closer like Kyrie or Wade to close. Kobe has always been a closer, even with Shaq around. Shaq couldn't close because he couldn't shoot free throws. So Shaq didn't touch the ball in the fourth quarter.
Why do you need to be a closer to win a championship when LeBron won
it was always Kobe. Kobe has always been the closer for the Lakers. LeBron wasn't the closer. Kyrie hit the shot to give him the title.
I got to chime in on that. I got to chime in on that.
LeBron James lost to Jason Terry.
It was a knock on Steph Curry because he never won the NBA Finals MVP. And they were saying that he wasn't the closer until he won this championship and won this Finals MVP. So when you're talking about Wade hitting the shots, when you're talking about Bosh hitting the shots, when you're talking about Ray Allen hitting the shots, when you're talking about Kyrie hitting the shots, when you're talking about Anthony Davis hitting the Kobe shot, everybody hit these shots. Where's LeBron's iconic shot?
In 07,
did
LeBron not lead the Cavaliers to the finals?
Yes.
That's one. Lost. It don't matter.
Hold on.
In 15, did Kyrie and Kevin Love not get hurt and he's still?
So what? In 16, Golden State had injuries.
Hold on.
Why do y'all always
Nothing.
Why do y'all always talk about?
LeBron took his team to the finals by himself.
I got a question.
Okay,
hold on. Okay. Whoa.
We've been on this.
This is what
we do between Shaq leaving and Pau Gasol getting there.
We're gonna be here forever.
Wait, I got a question about. So if we're talking about Shaq and Kobe, right quick, right? Shaq and Kobe. Okay, that's 2 people. LeBron James had. There was 3 of them things. There's 3 of them. You can't compare. You can't compare.
This man
Paul Gasol. You can't compare Paul Gasol.
Super team.
17 and 18. He made it to the finals.
And he lost.
Let's move
on. But he got there. What did Kobe do?
It don't matter. You don't get no consolation prize for getting to the finals. That's not a prize. You lost.
Let's move
Second
on,
place
man.
is not a prize, bro.
Let's stop talking about the Lakers.
They're not talking about the Lakers. They're talking about LeBron. It's terrible.
LeBron James lost to Jason
they don't
Terry.
even fucking matter. The Lakers have been.
See, we talk about the Lakers and our service goes
Fucking
out.
shit up.
Look, I'll say it while Caleb's gone. I'm gonna say it real fast.
So
you gotta give
who do y'all
LeBron
have
his
as the
respect,
best
and I don't
looking
like
team
to
so
say
far
it,
this year?
but to come back from 3-1, which has never been done in NBA history, it doesn't matter. It
Nobody
happened.
talks about Golden State's injuries that year.
No, it's not the injury. No, Ronnie, I'm not talking about the injury. I'm just talking about the
Hamrock brought up injuries in 2015.
No, I know that, but
Golden State had hella injuries. And Draymond got suspended.
One game.
And
Hey.
y'all was up 3-1. Y'all couldn't win one game without Draymond.
It's over.
Injuries.
It's over. LeBron James lost to Jason Terry.
It's only important when LeBron has injuries. That's
Lakers
it.
Suck,
That
LeBron
count.
suck.
LeBron James lost to Jason Terry.
It's only
okay. So, like I was saying, everybody caught up in the Laker talk, and the Lakers have been already eliminated from playoff contention. They are not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the play-in. Last year, at least they made the play-in. They're not. No, they didn't make the play-in. Actually, they got eliminated from that too.
No, yeah,
So
y'all right. They didn't make
man.
the play-in last year. Y'all right
It's
about
ridiculous.
that.
Yeah.
I know. I looked it up. You're right. 2 years ago, they went 40.
I know I'm right.
right.
So let's get to. All right. So let's get to this. Who's the best looking team so far in this NBA season?
I'll go first. If anybody on this panel says any team other than the Portland Trailblazers, you guys are tripping. You guys are straight smoking that stuff. Portland Trailblazers is kicking everybody's butt right now, even though it's only like 5 games in. But Portland Trailblazers is killing everybody. And right now, Dame, he on that time. And he killing everybody. And it's not like they ain't playing good teams. They beat the whack, don't have a life Lakers, killed them, right? Beat them. They beat the Phoenix Suns, right? My boy Dame had like 41 on Phoenix. Then the Nuggets, they put a smacking on the Nuggets. That boy had 31 against the Nuggets. Dame time is killing right now. And he killed the Nuggets so bad, the reigning MVP only had 9 points.
Okay. So look, I would respect that. At the same time, with Dame, I love Dame. He's one of my favorite players. But I'm not putting too much stock in. We've seen this before. Dame simply doesn't have enough around him. He don't have a second superstar. Dame is over there by himself. They got a decent team, but they ain't doing shit in the playoffs. So this is fool's gold. I'm not gonna go Portland Trailblazers. This is fool's gold for them. We've seen this in the regular season. Dame just simply does not have enough in the Western Conference. My pick is the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant is looking like a superstar. He looking like top 3 player in the league right now. The other kid that had 38 with him, I forget his name the other night.
Dame.
Dame. He had 38 the other night with him. Memphis defense is tough. They gave Golden State a run for their money last year. A lot of people believe that if they weren't injured, they could have knocked off Golden State. Memphis is looking strong right now, and Ja Morant is a superstar. He looking like arguably the best player in the league right now. So I'm going Memphis Grizzlies, man. Memphis Grizzlies is looking like the best team right now to me.
Ja Morant ain't scoring 41
I agree with
a game.
that. Ja Morant's my MVP early on. Memphis is looking like the best team. Desmond Bane is killing. Memphis is just some young gunners, man. Memphis is killing. I mean, the Celtics look good right now. I don't know.
They got smacked by the Bulls.
Man, but everybody's load managing. So when they say load management, I mean, that's kind of part of the game now. Everybody's load managing because injuries are occurring more than ever. And I'd rather have people miss in the first 20 games than in the last 20 games. So at the end of the season, when it's 20 games left and you see somebody load managing, then you say something. But 3, 4, 5 games into the season, everybody's load managing, man. It's just part of the game.
Who's load managing?
Everybody.
The Celtics didn't unload management last game.
Yes, they have minute restrictions.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how it's a different type. I'm not going to sit you out, but hey, you're going to be at a max 25 minutes. And no matter what type of shit is going on in the game, once you reach your minute restriction, you done. And we win or we lose, it don't matter. But you got a minute restriction, and you're not playing past that minute restriction because we're not going to put this big load on your body. We need you to be healthy for the playoffs.
Because you got smacked before the fourth quarter hit.
You know, Caleb, there was a whole lot of energy there. Once again, when you talk about the Clippers, your whole tone and dialect just like, come on, man. We August 1st, man. We both born same day. You know, we supposed to be chill, man. Be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? Other than John Morant and the Grizzlies, even though their record is nice, you guys got to really give respect to the Pelicans. They've been slept on for a little while since Zion was injured. And if you really look at how they're constructed and how they've been playing these first 4 games, if they stay healthy, they're going to be a problem. CJ McCollum is definitely showing everybody that he was worth the bag. I'm talking about, it's crazy to think that CJ McCollum is doing what he's doing right after leaving Dame, right? You don't want to say too much about how the last season went because it was a trade. So let him start off the season. He's killing the beginning, right? Dame's doing Dame, and then Anthony Simmons is over here doing what Simons is doing what he's doing. Like,
yeah, he's balling.
The 3 of them were on the same bench. You know, they both, you know, basically gave him a lot of game as a rookie or whatever. So record-wise, Portland's killing in the West. And then you look at the East, you got to give Boston a little bit more credit than what we've been giving them because they did what? What was the last thing they did? They made it to the finals. Give them their respect for making it to the finals and then bouncing back and doing what they're doing. But the one team that I just really don't see doing anything, just like I don't see my Lakers doing anything the very beginning of the season, I don't see the Clippers making everybody proud like they should.
Okay.
Because if you guys pay attention, they're not giving John Wall that shine that he deserves. They should just let that man eat. Like, let him start, you know, don't let him come off the bench and let him work.
You see, but you got to remember, he's coming off of injury also. So he's on a minute restriction also.
Yeah. I was just, Caleb, for the first time in a long time, I was speaking as a fan of John Wall, who happens to be on the roster of the Los Angeles Clippers. And see, as you gave me your honest answer about why he's not getting minutes, I now have to make sure when I go on my phone to go on NBA League Pass, I'm not watching Clippers because I know I can't watch John Wall. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with the Lakers, Dame Time, and Ja Morant.
He went with
2.0.
He threw in the minute restriction.
I did like the Pelicans. Yesterday I watched the Mavericks versus the Pelicans. I actually like Christian Wood over there with Luka.
Oh yeah,
they got a pretty good squad. I mean, the West is deepest shit right now. Everybody talk about the
East. They back. Well, the West is back.
The West is definitely looking hella deep. Who else been balling? The Cavaliers. I mean, they came out. They were supposed to have this team. They got what's his name?
Donovan Mitchell.
So you know they were supposed to be that team, but they ain't really been.
Yeah,
they ain't really been that.
Not yet.
But I see them, you know, getting that chemistry together. I see them getting that chemistry together and getting it in.
This is the deepest. This is the most balanced league. This is the most balanced league in a while. When's the last time we seen the East go 7 deep and the West go 10 deep at the same time? We ain't seen that in I don't know how long. This is like the most balanced league in a long time.
What you got, Amrock?
Yeah, the Western Conference, man, as a whole, the winner is going to come out of the West. Whether it's, I mean, everybody, most people are picking Golden State to repeat. But yeah, I mean, you got to give Memphis, Dallas, and New Orleans some love right now. Portland, I love Dame Time, but like Ronnie pointed out earlier, he just doesn't have enough around him. Like in one injury, especially possibly to him, which he has been injured in the past. I mean, it's a wrap for them. So I know they're hot right now, but they just don't have an entire roster to support him. But yeah, like Memphis with Ja, Dallas with Luka, it's the West is just deep right now. The Eastern Conference, we'll see. I mean, yeah, they're about 6 or 7 deep, but that Western Conference, man, it's just from top to bottom. It's just a monster. So I would say, it's a toss up between Memphis, New Orleans, and Dallas right now. In the Western Conference, the winner is going to come out of the West. I'm not going to predict who or say who, but the winner of the NBA Finals is coming out of the Western Conference. I don't care who comes out of the East. Whoever's coming out of the West is going to win it. Mm-hmm.
I think you sleeping on the East, bro. It's like 6 teams in the East that's stacked. Like,
I said six or seven.
But if you look at
against the West,
they stacked.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
But
It's 6 or 7, but against the West,
The East is
Western
stacked
Conference
too.
is too deep.
The Cavaliers, who else was over there on the East that's supposed to be doing it that ain't really living up to it?
Not yet, but at the end, it's going to be the Celtics, the Bucks, the Heat, the Sixers, the Nets.
The Sixers, they ain't been living up to it.
Chicago, when Lonzo Ball get back, it's Chicago's in there for sure. It's 6-7 teams in the East that can come out of that.
Anyone? So we're saying one of those teams could be a team come out. One of those teams could be Memphis.
Hell yeah.
One of those teams could be that.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's get to this next topic, man. Let's get to the next topic, man. So, OBJ, he got injured in the Super Bowl, won his first Super Bowl ring. He has a tore ACL in his kneecap. He's getting ready, he's rehabbing, and it's looking like within the next 2-3 weeks he'll be ready to be signed. They got him pinned with the returning to the Rams, going to the they're saying that the Chiefs will pick him up. I mean, wherever he goes, he's probably going to go to the best team, to the best super contending team, like he did last year. So where do y'all think that OBJ should go?
Yeah.
You got to come back home.
Yeah.
You got to run it back. We got to have OBJ come back home. Come back home to the Rams. Come on, man. You belong here in Hollywood and LA, out here with the sunshine and the breezes. You know what I mean? You got to come help us bring this championship back. OBJ come running back to the Rams. They know where other place for this cat, the one-handed catches and the flashiness. And he belong in LA, man. OBJ got to come back to LA and help us get that chip again. You feel me? OBJ, he don't need to go nowhere else. It's LBJ and OBJ. We need both of y'all niggas out here. Come on.
Okay, first of all, I got to go because this guy over here capping now. All of a sudden, he gonna stutter and say LBJ, and now he gonna say we want them both in LA. Right. And he knows he don't even want LeBron in LA. But anyways, had to get you there, baby. I love you, but gotcha. I got one for you. I don't know how realistic this is, okay? But with the fact that you said LBJ and you look at the 3 different jerseys that he has on, and you think about the type of personality this guy has, I think that he follows what LeBron has already mentioned, and he goes to Vegas and he joins the Raiders with Javonte Adams and Derek Carr. And you look at the potential havoc they could wreak on any single team. Like literally any defense would not be able to stop them. And hey, you know what? Hey. No one asked you first. But I'm just saying, as a biased fan, just like the Lakers, I think that would be one hell of a move, right? He goes to the Raiders. He has another scenario like he did with Cleveland, where he has another good wide receiver on the opposite side. But if you think about it, no disrespect, Derek Carr is better than Baker Mayfield. Give me that.
Yeah,
Derek Carr is better than Baker Mayfield, right? So if that happens, then what? The Raiders are finally relevant. They might potentially go to the playoffs. And if OBJ goes anywhere within the playoffs with the Raiders, he gets how much more clout? And then guess what? Bigger bag, better team, because all he has to do is sign for the rest of the season. All he needs to get on the roster. So get on the roster, get the fan base, get your clout back, because now you go from the Rams to the Raiders. Come on now. I'm talking some LT type love. Like crazy.
Yeah.
And he's a dad. You remember, he's a new dad. That would also be really cool to see him in the silver and black, have his baby down there dancing next to the black hole, even though he's a baby.
Yeah, if he Listen, if he doesn't, come to the Philadelphia Eagles, no, I'm joking. Listen, the New York Giants. Why not run it back with them? They 5-1. They obviously need a receiver. I think with the Raiders, they have Adams and Waller, who I feel like they're not really utilizing enough. The Rams, y'all still got Cooper Kupp out there. Y'all still got Allen Robinson, I believe. The Giants, who's their number one, right? He can go in and immediately make an impact. And they're 6-1 right now. So, and he said he wants to go to a contender. And right now, that's what the Giants are looking like. And I feel like if he's going to run it back with one of those three teams up there, it should be the New York Giants. Again, they're in a position to where they can make the playoffs and potentially make a run. So why not run it back with them? That's my opinion. I think he should go back to the Giants.
Is he a number one receiver at this point, though? I don't think so.
Always.
He can come in there and immediately make an impact. He can come in there and immediately make an
receiver, though.
I'm going to take
every down receiver.
But him going to the Rams, what is that going to do? They already have Cooper Kupp.
He's a perfect number two. Cooper Kupp's number one. He's a perfect.
Y'all don't have Allen Robinson, which y'all not throwing him the ball.
He's a perfect number 2 or 3 slot receiver. Like he's not a number one anymore at this point.
But he wants and needs the ball. He's electric. He can be that caliber guy, and the Giants really don't need him necessarily to be a number one necessarily as far as getting yards and touchdowns. They just need him to come in there and make an impact. They don't have a receiver like that's dynamic like him. That's all I'm saying. Raiders got him Adams. Y'all have it with Cooper Kupp. The Giants don't have that.
I'm going to take a page out of the mayor's book, and I'm going to be a little biased because I remember, the only one that can really talk is on this side right here, because everybody on this side in the beginning of the season, when we traded Russell Wilson, I remember the whole panel. This is the same thing like last year with the Chicago Bulls. This is crazy. So, Amrock, you're exempt from this, but everybody on this side of the panel, when we traded Westbrook, Russell Wilson, it was like, Seahawks is going to be trash. We trash, right? So I'm going to be a little biased and get my little punches in right now before we start losing. But everybody on this side of the panel, my team is doing better than all y'all teams.
True.
Right? Oh, wait. And I can't. BJ, if you ain't going to go to his team, let me just tell you, you can come to one of the best top 10 quarterbacks in the league right now and come with Geno Smith. Look it up. Geno Smith is killing right now.
Geno's killing right now. I can't lie. Geno killing.
Right now, yes. Right now.
Right, I'm saying right now. Right now. That's what I said.
Geno Smith? Like
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith
killing the game. Top
10 still playing
quarterback right now.
He dropping dimes, bro. I can't even lie.
He still plays? What the fuck?
He started for Seattle and balling.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, he's their starter.
Yeah, well, Ryan got a second chance and he's making the best out of it. He got that second chance in Seattle.
OBJ, come to Seattle, be with Lockett, be with DK Metcalf, and you got a quarterback that's going to throw you a ball. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say.
I say that he should sign with the 49ers. We just traded for Christian McCaffrey. We got Deebo Samuels. We will win the NFC West no matter what Seattle does because y'all not going to win it. It's either going to be us or the Rams. Seattle is not going to win the NFC West. I'm not worried about it.
Y'all said we weren't even going to win again.
Contender, not just somebody, not a pretender, but a contender. Come to the 49ers, man.
Better record.
I mean, we set our whole season up to go with Trey Lance, and then he breaks his ankle, and then we have to go with Jimmy G again. So we have to downgrade our whole game plan back to dink and dunk offense. And that's why Christian McCaffrey was added, because we're back to the dink and dunk offense that we was trying to get out of, and that's why we went with Trey Lance in the first place.
OBJ, if you want to be a runner, OBJ, Come on this side of the screen.
I feel bad for the 49ers because 49ers ain't going nowhere with garbage juice doodle ass Jimmy G. He's a bum, certified fucking scrub. He's never going to lead. No, I feel sorry for y'all depending on him because he's sorry. He's sorry as fuck. He reminds me of a Booth Trent Dilfer or some shit. He sucks.
How is Gino doing better?
Trent Dilfer, he was good on the Jaguars though.
That's why I said a Booth one.
But he's on the Niners.
So let's get to this hip hop news, man. Another rapper has been.
It's not that time.
Oh, go ahead. You ready?
I thought that's where we're going. No, I thought that's where you were going. I was excited. I was like, Kanye tonight.
But let's get to this rapper RICO, man. So TSU Surf, he is one of the top rated battle rappers in the game.
Surf.
And he got hit with the RICO, man. So him and 10 other people got arrested by the feds. We don't even know exactly what the charges are yet, but they have been watching him since 2015. And with these RICO charges, there's no statute of limitations. So it's when the cases starts to when they come through and kick in the door. So they can get you for stuff for 20 years ago today if they put together that RICO charge. So this is what we had 6ix9ine, then we had GS9 with Bobby Shmurda and them. They got the RICO. Then we had 6ix9ine and them go down in the RICO. This is all New York. I'm just focused on New York. We had 6ix9ine and them go down on the RICO. Then we had Casanova 2 times. He went down on the RICO. Now they got TSU Surf on the RICO, man. What are y'all thoughts on all these rappers getting the RICO, man? You got YSL in there still fighting a RICO charge, but that's not a federal RICO. That's a state RICO. So that's a whole different ball game that they dealing with down in Atlanta. But these rappers, man, they doing all this shit and then they go rap about it and then they incriminate themselves by putting out this information in their music. What are y'all thoughts on another rapper going down on a RICO?
I mean,
listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, Sue Surf. I mean, Sue Surf, you just got out, man. You just got out. But since we're talking about battle rap, shout out to my boy A Ward. Sue Surf don't want it with A Ward though. Rebuttal game crazy. But Sue Surf, you just got out, man. And they've been gunning for you. You are a little, you do, you know, wear what you got and everything like that. And they've been gunning for him. I would like for the panel what is a RICO charge, by the way?
Racketeering and something.
Yes, it's under RICO, a person who has committed at least 2 acts of racketeering activity drawn from a list of 35 crimes, 27 federal crimes, and 8 state crimes within a 10-year period can be charged with racketeering if such acts are related in one of the 4 specified ways. Specified ways to enterprise. That's a RICO charge. And real quick, racketeering, that I had to look this one up too, is the act of acquiring a business through illegal activity, operating a business with illegal income, or using a business to commit illegal acts.
So like Snowfall?
Yeah. Like every drug show that came out, anybody washing their money, they're racketeering.
See, but it's that bullshit. America was built on racketeering. What the fuck you think the government been doing and the white people been doing? Racketeering. Like, so how they want to get us with all these RICO charges when they built the fucking country doing this shit? No one wants to talk about that though. They've been racketeering. It's legal for them to do this shit
because taxes.
They dress it up and organize it and fix it up a certain way. They've been doing this shit forever.
And look, real quick, Ronnie, real quick. You know when this went into effect, the RICO Act in 1970. In 1970, think of the historical significance of that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. But yeah,
come on. 1970. If I'm not mistaken, you know, that's right around right before the time before the crack epidemic hit, and the crack crack epidemic affected who the most? Where'd they bring the drugs to? So they want to get us on these RICO charges when they built this fucking country on doing racketeering and bullshit. Like, that's what I hate. Like, people don't want to look at this shit. Like, I'm not excusing my brothers are doing no crime, but look at how is it fair to sit up here and continue to target the black man over some shit that these motherfuckers been doing for years legally?
So what you saying, Ronnie? Make sure I got this right. Is Snowfall ain't no different than Odark or Obark or whatever.
Nothing.
Or from the Godfather.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy because the mob, they went and they built casinos that they're running right now. They have the labor unions that they're running right now. They own the docks that they're running right now. And this was the mob. This was the first organized crime. And they built businesses that are staples. If you're in a what is that, a union, a labor union, that started with mob money. Las Vegas, one of the greatest destinations in the world, built with mob money.
Right.
And everybody knew that money was dirty. But did they stop Vegas from being built? No, they gave them licenses for people to come gamble.
Come on.
But you know what's the one thing we're forgetting within all of this, because we're speaking of facts. I mean, everything we're saying is facts, right? Or everything you guys have said is facts. I don't know if mine is facts yet. You guys have to let me know. Are we forgetting that every time we do anything of this magnitude, that if we publicize it, if we get a little bit too rah-rah and letting it be known what we are, how we feel, what we've done, trying to even teach the game back in a little bit more of an arrogant way, that this is the disciplinary action behind it? I mean, the movie, like y'all said, so Snowfall's like this. I mean, I don't want to say I laugh, but when you think about how old we all are, that means that's where our parents were. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they grew up out here, anywhere in LA, that's where they were, and I did my history on my mom. I told you guys all the time about how she was off of 54th, and I'm just like,
damn,
whoa, like, how'd you do that? You know what I mean? Like, I realized she graduated at 16 and not at 17. I'm like, or 17, not 18. I'm like, and like, take the stories back. I'm like, okay, well, you move forward. If you were to make it, you're supposed to shut up. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to anybody who's in the entertainment industry when it comes to music like that. But there's a lot of people that just consistently put out all of their truths through their music. And some of their truths they should keep to themselves. And then here is the outcome of that. And then at the same time, like y'all said, this dude was sick with the battle rap. Like URL Underground, like he was nice, like rapping against John the Don, like Hollow the Don. Like, I mean, it's like, no way he's not the same guy. Like, I'm talking about Caleb, when you sent the list today, I looked it up and I was like, shut up. Not that far back, too. You know what I'm saying? To go back that far, I don't even remember him as a battle rapper back then because I wasn't looking into it. So, like, I've watched the come up of his career, and this is what's about to happen to him. It's like, man, I wish the best for him moving forward. I just wish that there was a way that he could have maybe been mentored into, like, not putting it all out there so he could have enjoyed more of it.
He just got done with a big battle rap.
But on top of that, how you said that, putting it out there, like, it's I think they pick and choose. So if you reach a certain status, they won't fuck with you. So I'm about to drop a bar right here of a certain rapper that's reached billionaire status that started his company on drug money. I came into this motherfucker 100 grand strong, 9 to be exact, from grinding G packs. He started Rockefeller with drug money. Like, come on, like,
but Emory Jones actually went to jail for that, though. So it's not like Jay-Z didn't go to jail for it, but Emory went to jail for it.
But he's still telling me.
But that's to Ronnie's point. They pick and choose.
Jones, he went to jail for it, and he was the drug man that funded it. He was the front man.
But again, that's to Ronnie's point. They pick and choose.
But you can't say that nobody didn't go down for that.
Right, but
okay, look. Hey, wait.
Hold on. Because if you look at Murder Inc. and the Supreme Team Supreme funded Murder Inc. and Murder Inc. and all them went to jail.
Allegedly.
Irv Gotti went to jail over starting Murder Inc. with the Supreme team money. So
yeah, according to them, it's allegedly.
And this is New York that we're talking about. These are New York people. This is New York that we're talking about with Jay-Z and with Murder Inc. And
so
they didn't leave unscathed.
Jay-Z said, I came into this motherfucker 100 grand strong.
Right.
Exactly. Right. G-Pack.
Wait, hold on. Can I throw a wrench in that for you though, real fast, Kayla? I mean, okay. Ronnie and Kayla, with that statement and what just went down with the RICO charge, you know what's kind of messed up because you said it's Jay and how many people know he's the GOAT. If Beyonce would not have picked him of all men in the entire world that she had available at her like literally at her fingertips, maybe guys wouldn't still be trying to hustle the way they hustling. Because what does every black woman want? They want to be Beyonce if they can't be the best version of themselves. And Jay-Z made it from there, got to where he's at, and everybody's like, oh, I can do it too. But they're trying to talk about it while everybody's watching and then just picking us off one by one.
I think that everybody should watch the BMF documentary because BMF was the first people to like go in the clubs, throw 50,000 in the strip club, pop bottles, buy out the whole club with all the bottles. BMF was the first people to do that. So when Jay-Z and them came out before Rockefeller, they was called the best out. And they were basically going city to city, state to state because they couldn't get a record deal. And they couldn't get a record deal because of what they were doing. Everybody knew that they had the drug money. So they went out and state to state and they went in the clubs popping the bottles and doing all this. So this became the culture. So now these youngins are doing this, but the RICO is hitting them. They getting hit with RICOs versus getting caught in the studio with the drugs or getting caught.
Nobody wants 1,000. No one wants 100,000 Jay-Z's. I mean, some people do, but not the majority.
But the bottom line here is this: to pretty much all of our points, but specifically to Ronnie's point, it's a target. When you're a rapper, obviously the government is checking specifically for your lyrics and what you're saying. They don't do that to country music. They don't do that to pop music. They don't do that to rock music. They do that specifically with rappers. Why? Because again, the historical significance in 1970. Well, what happened prior to that? Again, they started, taking jobs from black men and a whole bunch of different things was going on at that particular time. And guess what black men specifically had to go do? They had to go get into the drug game. So they started that shit in 1970 at the perfect time for them when black men specifically started getting into the drug game where they could charge all of these black men at one time, because that's what you can do in a RICO case, right? That's why all of these guys who are affiliated with these with people from the neighborhood still are being caught up in these type of charges. So again, the bigger picture here is that they're specifically targeting a specific group of musicians or artists or what have you, and that's the bigger issue. But also another issue is so I forget who alluded to it, but again, black men, especially if you're going to be a black rapper, you have to understand this. This has been happening. Why continue to put that in your lyrics, right? Like, why continue to put that? I understand if you want to, rep your hood, rep where you from, rep how you came up, all of that good stuff. I get it. But certain things, yes, you don't need to include in your lyrics. At some point, when you reach a certain stature, you don't need to be in the hood chilling with all the niggas that you came up with. Like, you don't need to do that. You need to slowly move away from that, because again, this isn't the first time, and this won't be the last time that a RICO charge comes up. And again, they're specifically targeting a group of people, and rappers, they have to understand that in this day and age. They have to understand that.
And to piggyback off of what Amrock said, I mean, a lot of times with us joking and everything like that, you will hear people go, Like if somebody said, "Oh man, I don't know what it is." People will say something, and then you always hear, "Oh, bro, you didn't say pause. You didn't say pause."
You missed it. I said that earlier.
Yeah. So
earlier.
you pause with everything else, but you don't tell your boy, "Hey, pause. Don't say that. Take that lyric out. We ain't using that. Let's go somewhere else." So we can do it in a joking way, but let's also do it when it comes to making sure we ain't getting locked up.
Yeah, and that doesn't make it right. Like it's freedom of speech. You should be able to say what you want to say in your lyrics. But again, we have to understand that they're specifically for us as Black men, they're coming at us in all different ways. And that is specifically one of them when you're talking about rapping. Yeah. And you have to understand that.
My last point on this is really because we in California. This election coming up, and Governor Newsom is trying everything in the world because now he's trying to pass a bill where you can't use rap lyrics to indict people in California. Governor Newsom is trying to get the Black vote. He's trying to get reparations out. He's making weed legal. He trying to
put it into law.
Put it into law and not use the music. Governor Newsom want his job back badly.
He should put it into law and make that legal and stop and don't talk about it. Be about it. Put it into law.
All right, man. We got to get to this last topic, man. We got to get to this Kanye news because 2 weeks ago we talked about this whole thing before the whole world even caught on to it, and that's why I love doing this podcast because I read a lot. And he was on Fox News, and nobody watches Fox News, so nobody's seen those interviews he was doing. And I'm like, man, we foreshadowed this whole thing coming, and we talked about this about 2 weeks ago about everything that Kanye is doing. And now look, he did exactly what he thought he was going to do. Guess what? He couldn't reach the Black platforms. He was speaking all this on Fox News, on CNN, with all the journalists. He was saying all of this, and it didn't matter when he was on the white demographic, talking to the white demographic. But the moment that he went to the shop, LeBron James and them said, "Oh, no, we can't run your interview." Then you try to go to any other platform, nobody will interview you. Then you go to Drink Champs, you do the interview, and then Noriega recants it, apologizes for having you on there, and then takes down the interview. So we already seen this, like they don't want Black people to talk to other Black people. If you ever been at a job and you can see two white people over there talking, chilling, you can see two Mexican people over there talking, chilling. Well, when two niggas is at a job standing, talking, chilling, hey, what y'all doing over there? Get back to work. Right. And I see this every day when I go to work, man. It's like they hate that. They don't want us to come together, man. They don't want us to know this knowledge. They don't want us to even have these type of conversations. And that's why they're trying to silence Kanye. But Kanye is talking out the side of his neck. He's saying different shit. He said 8 times. He said about 3-4 different times, Adidas cannot end the conversation in my contract. And then he looks in the cameras and says it again. So I think that he intentionally is trying to get out of all these deals so that he can actually own and fully control 100% of all the shit that he's doing. What are y'all thoughts on this, Kanye? And what do you think his end goal is?
That's exactly what he's doing. It's been 9 years since the Sway interview. There's nothing left for him to do from creating the Donda Academy for his children, which he's been fighting so that the kids don't go to Sierra Canyon, that they go to Donda. He's already put some of the best basketball players together to spearhead his varsity basketball team this past year. You think about, like, I don't know if you guys paid attention to it today, for example, he walked into Skechers and was trying to demand a meeting, and they escorted him out because they said they didn't want anything to do with him because of his comments that he made on Drink Champs, which if you actually watch it, which is, it's still on YouTube, even though it's not on Noriega's actually his actual channel, it's still on YouTube. It's interesting. The things that he's saying from his heart about like how he feels about the way of the world, not necessarily about him running for president, but just like, people just taking more initiative to not be caught up in designer and not be caught up in what other people want. Like there was some truth behind it, but then he does go left where you can tell he's still the old Kanye. Like only because of watching that will I believe that he's not like Gucci Mane, where you're like, is that a clone? Like he don't even talk anymore. The bird don't even sound the same. Like Kanye is somebody that right now I think the world is most afraid of because he's like Dennis Rodman with bars. Like everybody likes him, but they don't want to admit it. And he's liked by the wrong people. Like for us, we feel like why are so many people into you, but then everybody now can't rock with you. He's going to take his money. He's going to do something crazy. And I say it's going to happen within 2023 because he's running with Donald Trump, just like Caleb said, just like I hinted or I joked too. It's like he's really going to make a run for this whole presidency because why not?
Yeah, I mean, so with Kanye West, what got him in trouble with Drink Champs was his comments about George Floyd. That's why he's facing a lawsuit right now. Kanye, with some of the stuff that he's saying, it's just why? Yeah. Why even like with George Floyd? Why even bring that up? Or why even if I forget if it was a specific question that was asked to him, but why go to that extent? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. And
let me add some context.
He was also drinking too. Because
let me add some context.
But that's what you're gonna do for the most part when you go to Drink Champs.
So that's why I brought up the Candace Owens documentary, because Candace Owens in her documentary, she went back and rehashed the theory that George Floyd died from fentanyl and not from the knee on his neck, saying that the knee wasn't even really on his neck putting pressure and that he died from fentanyl. So he's backing his girl Candace Owens, and that's why I let the world know about this documentary, because that's where he's getting that context from. That's where he's getting that theory from his own girl Candace.
Yeah, and neither one of them are criminal investigators or forensic. Stay out of that lane. That's what both of them. Right? You don't need to talk about a man who died because a cop put a knee on his damn neck, and we don't need to go. Kanye doesn't need to go there. But what really got Kanye in trouble was they're calling it anti-Semitic, but his comments about the Jewish community. Listen, they're strong behind the scenes. They got a community, and they will sign petitions, and they will come together, all right, and make sure that what happened was, what's happening to Kanye was going to happen to Kanye. With the move with Adidas. I mean, again, he's just making outlandish comments and just saying things that just don't make any sense. Like, he just needs to, quite frankly, just be quiet. I mean, that's tough to say, especially to another black man, because yes, most of us, we need to be heard. But the stuff that Kanye is saying is just ridiculous. And there's no point to it. It is unnecessary. That's the key thing. It's unnecessary, the comments.
So I got a question for y'all real fast. Yeah. We all, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up Christian, and we used to go to Vacation Bible School. And they used to have this song, Father Abraham, his many sons, and many sons have Father Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So this whatever, I don't even remember the rest.
Right.
But Abraham was the one that led the Israelites to the promised land. He took over after Moses freed the people. So Abraham had 13 sons, and it was 13 tribes of Israel. So what Kanye is referring to is that black people are one of those. We are the Israelites. We are the chosen people. We are the ones that Moses freed out of Egypt. We are the ones that was led to the promised land. We are the ones that fulfilled that. And the Jews are part of that. They're one of those tribes. But black people, our history have been erased to not inform us that we are part of that tribe and we are part of that chosen people. And because black people don't have any history and that our history has been whitewashed, he's trying to wake up and inform people to look into this information. And that is the biggest thing why the Jews don't want him to talk about this, and why white media, if you look, he went to Piers Morgan. You can go on Piers Morgan and talk all this, and Piers Morgan doesn't take down his interview. But then when you go on the black platform, he says the same exact shit, but the black platform has to apologize and has to pull their interview down. Why Piers Morgan ain't apologizing and pulling his interview down?
He's saying that stuff, but he's also adding unnecessary stuff to those same conversations. That's the problem. If he said what you're saying, Caleb, all respect. Like, yeah, because what you're saying is right. Yeah. But he's also adding other comments that just don't make, like, why are you going to those extremes?
But you remember we got the biggest 3-part insight to Kanye West last year or earlier this year with the Genius, right? Which he's now gone back and said that his friend sold him out because there was footage that he didn't include that he could have included that would have gave even more insight of Kanye, right? But at the same time, this was him doing something for himself, but also doing something for his friend. And then when you see it in the documentary that, they don't necessarily have a fallout, but, he reached that level where they weren't on the same playing field. They weren't in the same room at all times. He didn't need to keep him around as often. I think that kind of shows that entertainment does make you not necessarily sell your soul, but you have to separate yourself from who you were to become who you want to be. So, I mean, if we ever heard Kanye talk without any type of added substance or ever for, maybe for a less period of time, maybe we would get more bullet points and it would just stick and it would make more sense. But he's someone just like myself, where if you let me ramble for long enough, I've hit both points, 3 points, 4 points. And now it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Because I like hearing myself talk. He likes to hear himself talk, but he's a billionaire.
I would say, going kind of sort of off of what Caleb is saying, but when I think about Kanye West, first thing that actually comes to my head is, you can make a sex tape. Let's just get this right. You can make a sex tape, and then from you making a sex tape, your family has one of the biggest makeup lines for making a sex tape. So you could throw that out. Sex sells. Okay, cool. You can run for some kind of presidency and come out and blatantly say, hey, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me. You can come out and say that, and you can become president of the United States of America.
Facts.
You can put you can have a badge on and kill innocent people that don't have any weapons at all, and you ain't getting charged for 1st-degree murder, 2nd-degree. You just getting little slaps on the wrist, and they taking your pension away. And some of them, they don't even take their pension away.
Because of qualified immunity, that's something that we talked about on this podcast about 2 years ago.
2 years, yes, sir.
You can kill a man. It can be put on video for the world to see, and you get that immunity, you good. But once Kanye West, which all of us know he talk crazy anyway, he says something really trying to say, hey, if whoever controls media controls perception, and whoever controls that perception, they're the biggest threat. And all of a sudden, once he says that, with all the other crazy stuff and his other antics, right? He lost his Adidas, and he lost Def Jam.
He lost Balenciaga. He lost Def Jam.
He pretty much lost.
He lost everything.
Everything. He lost everything, right? Yes. I'm going back to Adidas right quick. Adidas was already taking his designs and making them into other shoes before he got kicked out. So they're like, hey, we already got your design, so we just gonna just call it a different name, and it ain't Yeezys no more, right?
Right.
So my whole thing is with Kanye is, yes, he talks out of his neck, but there's a lot of other people that have been talking out of their neck and they ain't serving the right jail time. I mean, we still putting people in presidency saying, hey, if you ain't black. And then on top of all of that, my biggest gripe in it all is we all have platforms ourselves. It'll be like Caleb hitting me up being like, yo, you gonna jump on a podcast? If I'm gonna jump on this, Caleb already knows, hey, y'all gonna say some crazy things and he may give some crazy antics and stuff like that. That's what y'all does. When you go on Drink Champs and you already know Kanye West been talking out his mouth and you put him on your platform, and then all of a sudden once everybody's like doesn't agree with what he says, all of a sudden you going, sorry, brother, it's all on you. Nah, I have nothing to do with it. That's where I kind of got a little like, what? Like, you already know Kanye West he thinks how he thinks, and you put him on your channel, you got the views. And then after you got the views, you back out because you like, I don't want to be taken down.
Yeah, I feel you, but that's no excuse though. I feel you, but that's no excuse. Yeah, like you said, if Kalen hit you up and say, yo, come on the podcast, and you know you're gonna say some but he don't know if you're gonna go off the rails and say some crazy stuff. Like, yeah, you might say something extreme, but
we have had altercations damn near on this show from people saying crazy stuff. Right. So we know that, hey,
I feel you, but
you come on here, it's a debate format. If you say some crazy stuff, be able to stand on what you're saying.
Y'all ever said slavery was a choice on here? Slavery was a choice on here.
Let me get on Kanye.
That's some crazy shit. I'm sorry.
What you got, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kanye West. Nobody doubts his musical genius. Nobody doubts his genius. He has a genius mind, man. Like, he's smart. He's creative. You know, I don't know at this point. A lot of us are confused. Kanye, are you for us or not? Like, we get what you're saying. People that studied the Hebrew Israelites and, you know, everyone that's tapped into that knows what he's talking about on that level. But why go out of your way? See, you're confusing people by standing with Candace Owens and backing up something she says about the George Floyd thing. It doesn't even matter if it was fentanyl. The cop's knee was on his fucking neck for 9 minutes. There's nobody, I don't care what killed him. The cop's knee should not have been on that man's neck. You can't tell me how sensitive your fucking neck is. It only takes a little bit of pressure for that shit. Like, come on, when you're leaning down and somebody on the floor. So for her to do that and Kanye to back that, it's like, are you for us or not, bro? Then you do the whole White Lives Matter thing. I know he had an underlying meeting with that, but for most of America, they're not thinking that deep. So you can't approach it like that if you want to reach the people. Kanye is confusing people with, we don't know if he's for us or not. Like, we get what he's saying about the whole Jews thing, but he's all over the place. He's talking bullshit. He's talking off the side of his neck to where people can't stand behind him because we don't know what your message is, bro. You keep going back and forth. It's like he wants the white man's approval, but then he don't. Then you working with Donald Trump, and it's like Kanye is the only one that seems like he begs for it. He begs for it. They don't give it to him. Then he goes on a rant. He's like a brat. Like, we don't know what Kanye is all over the place. This man has changed so much throughout the course of his career, and I'm a Kanye fan. Like, I'm a Kanye fan speaking at, like, his music and all that shit. He's dope as fuck. Like, he's one of the greatest ever, but it's just, he's all over the place, and people don't know what he's doing because he's not nowhere. He's on playing both sides, it seems like.
I got you, Ronnie. You know where we lost him and why we all just can't quite grasp where his head is at? How many of us really listen to any of his music after Life of Pablo? Be honest.
I didn't listen to that.
Shit,
okay,
I'll stop that.
Okay, so check this, right? So Graduation, all that came out back in what, 2003, 4, or 5, right? Yeah. Right? No, be honest, right? Yeah. So if you really, 2007 was the last Specky. So I mean, so 3, 5, and 7. There you go. So if you look at the longevity of his discography, right? Big word for today. he's been saying some stuff. Like even the last two Donda albums, I didn't listen to him like, oh man, these are bangers. But I try to listen to just to hear where he's at because everyone speaks their truth. I mean, I lost my mom 3 years ago, and I'm not a billionaire, and I couldn't imagine trying to walk around here and having access to all the stuff he has access to, and then trying to make sense of the world when you know all the secrets and stuff that people probably don't ever fathom ever processing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like there's like I said, he's like a more popular Dennis Rodman. You cannot put him in any category. He's just himself, and he's a crazy guy. So it's like, what do you do?
To speak to that, in his interview with Piers Morgan, he speaks about how he was admitted to a mental psych ward.
Boom.
And when he got admitted to the mental psych ward, they have the hold on you where they put you in a straitjacket. They can put any type of drugs on you. And after that, that's when he got put on the meds. And when he got put on the meds, that's when he became this whole different person. So yes, Kanye has always been eccentric. He has always been just different. But once they put the meds into him, then your body starts to get dependent on it. It changes your mood. It changes mood inhibitors. That's what there are. They're mood inhibitors. They put some shit in him to try to calm him down. And now he got off that shit. And now he can't calm down. And then he's talking about a lot of the times he's sleep deprived because he isn't getting any sleep. If you remember Michael Jackson, he died because he was taking a Propofol because he couldn't get to sleep. Because they drug you up and your body becomes dependent on these drugs. And now you can't operate normally or function normally without these drugs in your system. So they drugged him up, and then he got off the drugs, and now he can't sleep, and now he's going fucking crazy. So, definitely always be very careful and cautious when we're talking about these. And they always want to say ADHD with black kids and try to put us on these Zolofts and these different type of mood inhibitors to take away that feeling that they talk about anxiety and all these different things that exist now. I remember me personally, I was in 5th grade and I went through this. They put me in a thing, they showed me ink blots. Then they told me that anytime I feel pressured or high anxiety, that I can just remove myself from the scenario. So what did I do? I'm in 5th grade. I didn't do my homework project. So when the teacher say, hey, pull out your homework, oh no, I feel anxiety. Now I'm walking out the classroom. I'm downstairs playing basketball when I should be, because I didn't do my homework. You know what I'm saying? Like these situations, aren't handled right and aren't treated right. And counseling.
And I wonder how many other children in other demographics were given the same opportunity because they weren't. They weren't putting those kids in those situations. And if it wasn't you getting the opportunity to walk out, you were being put on an IEP, right? And making us feel like we were unable to learn the same way that other people learn when no one learns. No two people learn the same way. We all learn at our own pace. We all retain information differently. So the way that we're the way children are able to be labeled and then how it affects us later is exactly why all of this is just a gateway to prison. Like you've been saying for the last 2 years that we've been on the podcast together, that all of this is strategic, that none of it is set up for no reason.
Pause. I forgot. I said pause.
Because right.
I know you were talking about what happened in 5th grade and everything, and I don't know if the government's listening to you and everything. So I don't want them to try to get you. So pause.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's an assist.
Got it.
That's real though. But I don't know. I just think that Kanye, man, he done lost his family. He done lost his mama. He done lost his business relationships.
They took his kids.
When he went at Jay-Z and he gave that rant, and then he ended his tour and sued Rock Nation. I mean, Rock Nation tried to sue him for not finishing that tour. And then he turned around and he started his church and said he wasn't going to perform any more secular music because he had to get out of that lawsuit against Live Nation. I mean, Kanye has basically lost it all in the last 7 to 10 years, but somehow still to remain in the limelight. So his fandom and his money is going up every time, but the people being around him is dropping like flies. He after Kim got robbed in Paris, he went and he got at Kanye. Got at Jay-Z for not defending him and not coming to his aid when his wife got robbed. So now you don't even got Jay-Z. They show pictures of him at the Rock Nation brunch, and him and Jay-Z were standing next to each other, and you couldn't even tell that they were friends. Like, Kanye has lost everyone close to him, and there's nobody to check him. And that's why everybody, like Dave Chappelle was talking about how he went to his farm, just to try to check up on him, because he doesn't really have anybody in his corner. And it's just him and his thoughts running rampant and doing and saying whatever the fuck he wants and feels in the moment, not really looking at the bigger picture and how it affects his people. He's saying he's doing this for his people, but he don't understand how it's negatively affecting his people. And you have followers, you have people that are looking up to this, and you have children that are going to follow in your footsteps and think that this is the right way to behave. And you got people like Antonio Brown that are like your best friends now. Antonio Brown took off his jersey and walked off the field. Tom Brady came and got you out of nowhere, and you over here put out 2 days ago, Antonio Brown put out a shirt of him hugging Tom Brady's wife after they won the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
And this is the type of people you're surrounding yourself with, man. I mean, that's why I'm happy that I got y'all brothers around me. You know what I'm saying? So if I ever get out of line, I know I got some people that's gonna say, "Hey, nigga, what is you doing?" And put me back on the straight trail. You know what I'm saying? And he don't got that. But man, we gotta wrap this shit up, man. Let's get some shout outs before we get up out of here.
I would like to say, I know you mentioned Jay-Z and Kanye and Kim being robbed, and he getting mad because Jay-Z didn't defend her. Would you consider that niggas in Paris? No, I'll just play. But shout out to the whole panel of brothers on here, man. I love y'all. Y'all keep doing your thing. Focus on the future, politician, my boy Amra, my boy Ronnie, all y'all. I love you guys. You guys keep doing your thing. Keep bringing the message. One of the highlights of my day is when you over here working at your regular 9 to 5 and Caleb hits you up like, "I told you, nigga. I told you. I told you. I told you about Kanye." So, keep putting the message out there. Y'all keep doing your thing. And we'll just continue to make sure we ain't no niggas in Paris.
All right. Yo, yeah, you my nigga. I love you, bro. But let me let you know something. You've been on this damn podcast for 2 years and still can't say the damn name right. It's politicking, not politician, bro. Politician.
Hey,
politician.
Hey, man.
Politicking.
Hey, man. That's those IEP meetings. Politicking with my politicians. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit! I'm dead.
Wait till next week. I got it.
Hey,
shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the viewers. Shout out to Murdoch. You know what I'm saying? Who making all this happen? Dank for sure. Alvin Mayer, Amrock. Shout out to everybody that's been following us, man. I just want everybody to stay blessed, be safe out there until the next week when we come back right here and talk that shit
on politicking.
Hey, same thing. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Shout out to the fact that, like Caleb said earlier, it's really been 2 years. Like I pull it up on my Time Hop all the time. Anytime I go, it's literally we've been doing this forever. Like the StreamYard.com/ those numbers, man. I'm talking about. We got lists of them. But no, I would shout out a whole bunch of people. But other than the kids of the AV, I got to shout out the Los Angeles Lakers. I want to thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity to talk crap each and every time I come on this podcast. 17 titles is a very, very, very outrageous number when the next person after the Celtics, I believe, have 7. So thank you for giving me this. Thank
Wow.
Yeah, hey, shout out to all y'all brothers, man. Speaking of Kanye West and Antonio Brown, black men, we need to understand that mental health and taking care of our bodies and our minds specifically is very, 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 very important. And we see examples of why that's important. So, all black men out there, make sure you're taking care of your mental health. But again, shout out to all you guys. Shout out to PolitiKan. Definitely appreciate y'all having me on. And check out Blackworks Creators new post. Just posted new post posted a couple hours ago. So check that out.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I appreciate all y'all brothers, man. Shout out to Murdoch on the boards, man. Murdoch's always behind the scenes. So if you wonder why our show looks like this and it didn't used to look like this, because that boy Murdoch, man, on the board. So shout out to Murdoch. Shout out to all y'all, man, for continuing to inspire me. I don't watch celebrities. I don't follow celebrities. I follow my peers. You guys are my inspiration. When I get up and I see y'all like, yo, 10 seconds of motivation, I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Let me get up. Let me get to my shit. You know what I'm saying? I see Alvin out there doing charity events. Ronnie's dabbling into his writing shit, Amrock. Blackworks Creators pushing forward, pushing the agenda, because we do have an agenda, and that's to inform our people. We can't come together until we have the information. So let's start there. And that's the main reason for this platform and for this podcast, is to inform. Yeah, we're talking about the Lakers. Yeah, we're talking about the NBA. But after that, we're talking about some real shit and some real things that really can affect our community and really push the envelope forward. So tune in every Wednesday, man. Follow all of our personal pages. You can follow me on IG, Dank Sinatra, because I am the Sinatra of Dank. And check out our blog, man, the PolitiKan Forum. We got new write-ups, new events, interviews. We always got content. That is our main hub. That's where our main content goes, the PolitiKanForum.com. And we out. All right, y'all. Good shit, man. Holla at y'all. Appreciate y'all, brothers.
All right, bro.
See y'all next week.
Yeah.